Welcome to J. Doyle Field, home of the Bears, for tonight's EBTV's coverage of East Brunswick High School athletics. Tonight, boys lacrosse against J.P. Stevens senior night here. Boys lacrosse team having a rather rough year, 2-5 or 2-6, as we enter this crucial GMC matchup against the Hawks of J.P. Stevens, and it's also senior night, which is a chance to shine for the seniors here, and on a beautiful night here at J. Doyle Stadium. And Coach Severino's got his troops ready to go, and we'll be back in just a moment with the introductions of our seniors and their parents. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to J. Doyle Field, home of the Bears. Tonight, we will honor our senior boys lacrosse team members and their parents for their commitment and dedication to the lacrosse program. They've provided us with many enjoyable memories over the years, and they surely will be missed, and we wish them much success in their future endeavors. Your seniors are Kevin Block, escorted by Dad Barry. Nicholas Fusco, escorted by parents Aileen and Ernie. Jason Gonzalez, escorted by parents Herminia and Walter. Maintain Kite, escorted by Mom Lillian. Randall Nixon, escorted by parents Andrea and Randall. James Tarnofsky, escorted by parents Susan and James. Alex Wiedenfeld, escorted by parents Randy and Harold. And Ryan Jurgensen, escorted by parents Lisa and Russell. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to our seniors on the boys lacrosse team and their parents. And we are back here at J. Doyle Field, captain's meeting at midfield. Boys lacrosse action here, part of our doubleheader senior night. This was the originally scheduled game. The girls' game was the result of the rainouts that were taking place due to the intense rain we got a week or so ago. Bears will be dressed in their home white with green numerals. J.P. Stevens in the green with yellow numerals. Starting lineup for the Bears will be at attack, Nick Fusco, Jason Gonzalez, Kyle Mascola will round up the attack line. Running at midfield, Bobby Taco, Timmy Clark, Tommy Spiota. On defense, Randall Nixon, Scott Stolzenberg, Alex Wiedenfeld. And in goal for the Bears will be sophomore Ray Lanzi. Play 4 quarters here. The goals have been moved in to the white lines. A little hard to see from our vantage point, but the boys play on a little shorter field than the girls do. Coach Matt Severino, assisted by Christian Nazo and Mike Minchwarmer. Positioning again. We will be playing by the lines here, the conscripted lines here, the white lines. Part of the traditions here. Teams meet at midfield. In a gesture of good sportsmanship, the officials will get them to greet. Goalies will be the first. As a little brief explanation of the rules or ground rules here. Goalies again meet at midfield. Teams play 9 plus a goalie out at any one time. Free substitution. And the draw will be taken by Timmy Clark, number 9 for the Bears at midfield. Whistle blows in play, and we are underway. Ground ball picked up by the Bears. Bobby Taco, 21, will bring it into the offensive end. Quick substitutions on both sides to get prepared for this offensive set. Jason Gonzalez. Gonzalez passes it around. Again, Bears patient on offense here, looking for a set play or an opportunity that will come out. Control the key issue. And the control here is working it inside. That ball goes through Andrew Mariani and it goes out of bounds. Possession change for and in favor now of the Hawks of J.P. Stevens. Ball knocked out of bounds. Possession changes. Shots behind the cage. Whoever is closest on a shot. Knocked down. Nice defensive poke there. Good poke check by Gonzalez. But Stevens picks up possession. Ball on the ground. Again, hard turf here. Little patches of grass making it difficult to get a clean pickup. And that pickup is clean by Kyle Mascola. Mascola has it bounced around as it knocked around. And tripping there is Ryan Dalton. Bit of a rugby scrum, a little more contact here. And coming out with it, Nick Fusco. Fusco family certainly well known for in East Brunswick lacrosse circles between the Blackhawk program and the high school program. Again, Bears very patient here, working it around the outside. Looking for an advantage inside. Working away in, shot, light shot, knocked down. Timmy Clark took the shot, a little battle in front here. Ball out on the side, a little bit of interference. And J.P. Stevens will put the ball in play. Scott Silverman on defense, working it up. Again, they got to get it across the midfield line here. Long downfield pass whipped on 2 bounces, picked up 2 on 1 break. And a shot and a score. First possession, Stevens inside. Andrew Fleischer scores for Stevens. Fleischer picked up that ball, had a clear break, and just went in and pounded a bounce shot by Lanzi. And J.P. Stevens goes up 1-0. Again, possession is the key here, and East Brunswick a little sloppy with the ball. Not getting a chance at a good shot opportunity, and not pursuing and picking up an opportunity to get the ball back in the defensive end. A little sloppy play there by Stevens, but the long field pass is good. Battling at midfield. And picking it up nicely for the Bears is Scott Stolzenberg. But Stolzenberg is a defender. He needs to come back across midfield and be replaced by an offensive player. Now the Bears can set it back up again, working it around behind the cage. Mascola, Mariani here, working inside. A Looking for an opportunity, a shot and a score by Jason Gonzalez. Gonzalez found an opening through the middle, and high shot score ties this game at 1. Now the Bears get on track. A lot of substitutions here. You're playing 9-on-9 plus goalie. A lot of substitutions in and out. Even on these draws at midfield, you have a couple for the Bears here. You have a couple of long stick defensemen out taking the draw, and if the Bears control, they will come back and be replaced by the short stick attacker midfielders. Stolzenberg picks it up off the ground. Again, looking for someone to pass to. Inside, and that was a nice feed inside to Mascola, but Mascola has his stick deflected and the ball goes over the cage. Bears pick up possession. Hard driving, low shot by Bobby Taco, and the Bears climb on top for the first time at 2-1. Our score. Finding that key position here. Okay, again, draw at midfield for the Bears. This time drawing it will be Jamie Tarnowski. Ball's on the ground, knocked around, battled in there, picked up by J.P. Stevens. That's Kyle Rapport, 17. Now J.P. Stevens will operate and set up on offense for the first time. Working outside the box, bringing it inside. Matt Shea behind the cage. That goes through. That'll be a change in possession. And triggering the clear for the Bears will be Alex Wiedenfeld. Wiedenfeld on defense, comes up. Stolzenberg sets a stationary pick there, give him some breathing room. We have a offside violation, 24 for the Bears. As Wiedenfeld crossed midfield, Andrew Mariani could not get back on the defensive side to replace him in time, and so a change in possession there on the offside. Minor violation, no penalty, no man down. Again, J.P. Stevens content to work it on the outside right now. One man waiting for either isolation or for a play to develop. That kind of low shot by Fleischer looked like he tried to submarine it, but it deflected out of bounds, and last touch by the Bears. Horn blows for a wholesale substitution of the midfield line. Replacing, again, with more defensive substitutions, an extra long stick defender out there. Behind the cage. Looking. Pass for Pete McNamara. McNamara to Matt Shea. Shea looks like to be the trigger man, the quarterback up top. We do not have a number in our program here for number 8 behind the cage, though, on the attack line. Lanzi picks it up. Now is going to look for a clear here. We'll take it behind the cage so he doesn't have, he has to then clear it. Randall Nixon now will bring it up. Nixon will drive it into the offensive zone, look to pass. That shot by Fusco goes through everyone, but the Bears will retain possession as closest to the ball as it went out the back end. Nixon runs back on defense, replaced by a short stick midfielder. Working behind the net, coming out in front. Getting an angle is Nick Fusco. And the Bears go up 3-1. Fusco perched down low. On the outside, just comes out just enough to get some space and find the angle. Defense not collapsing in on the East Brunswick attackman. You get caught ball watching, and sometimes your man can just find that little opening and be in position to score. Draw at midfield. Raked up with a cloud of dirt. Scott Stolzenberg looking for it to bounce around. Does pick it up. Will pass to another long stick defenseman, Tommy Spiota. Spiota, and the shot and a score. Did not look like, was that Nick Fusco? Quickly, my field of vision changed. 4-1. A lot of offense here for the Bears in this first quarter of play. Stolzenberg picks it up again. Oh, the pass goes through, but it'll slow down and maybe stay in play. Okay, Bears will trigger. Mascola to Jason Gonzalez. Mariani. Mariani trying to go through and put it in general direction of Bobby Taco. Behind the cage, that's Fusco. Fusco. Bears content to move it a little more around. Knocked down in front. Good snipe there by Scott Silverman, but picked up by the Bears, who were quick to go after it. Looking for an opening advantage there. Fusco, though, picks up the deflected pass. We'll set it up once again. Jason Gonzalez to Mariani. To Timmy Clark. You hear the play being called out, 21. That may be the person who gets it, or the person, or just a play number. Two moves off the post on a bounce shot. A nice kind of stutter move by Timmy Clark. But the ball hits high off the post. Bears do recover nicely. That pass goes through its intended target, Fusco, but picked up by Taco. Clark to Fusco. Mariani. Again on the ground. Fusco has a hard time picking up, but backing it up. Whew. And a rifle shot there by Bobby Taco to the far side and low. And East Brunswick goes up 5-1. Making good on their on picking their spots. Bears up 5-1 in this first quarter. And after an early defensive lapse by the Bears have been really solid, particularly on these draws. Stolzenberg picks up another loose ball. Ganged up on by three defenders. A rather high check there, but Stolzenberg loses possession. Stolzenberg using his body to shield it off, but we've got... And I think a timeout was called by Coach Matt Severino there, seeing Stolzenberg in trouble on the sideline rather than yield possession, and calls the timeout. Take this opportunity to once again thank the parents. You know, this is senior night. This is for the seniors too, but it's also for the parents who have to put up with long hours and the rides to and from practices and conditioning sessions. So, you know, give them the recognition that they deserve on this special night. Beautiful night here at J. Doyle Field. The clouds earlier parted nicely, and we have not had even the threat of a little bit of rain, although the clouds are starting to come in now. Should be able to get this game in good shape. The East Brunswick Boys Lacrosse program now, I think, in its 11th season. Started as an offshoot of the Blackhawks recreational program here. Parents did a good job in promoting it and raising money for it, and the Board of Education decided to continue the program, and then 2 years later add a girls program. And I had the opportunity to be an assistant coach for the boys program for 2 years. So I really know how much hard work goes into this, the dedication that these young men put in. Okay, we're going to go back to repositioning to where everybody was. And triggering the play as we start will be Bobby Taco. Now as they're going to move him in a little closer here, away from the sideline. Taco's got a screen from Randall Nixon and will come across midfield. And the Bears will set up on offense. Again, somebody's calling out the 21. Bears content to work a lot more from the sides and from behind, whereas J.P. Stevens has been working from in front. Inside pass, Jason Gonzalez could not control it. Good stick work there by the J.P. Stevens defense. And good defensive response there, and we pick the ball back up. Bears pick it back up again. Oh, nice fake move there. Kyle Mascola had the goalie thinking low and then pulls it back up and puts it over his shoulder. Mascola scores for the Bears in 6-1. You would not think that this team has a losing record by the way that they have started this first quarter. They're coming out, they're aggressive, they're picking up ground balls. They're moving on offense and making every play count. The draw being fought around, picked up on the far side by Tommy Spiota. Spiota to Fusco. Fusco inside the box. Left hand turns, fires. Had the vision to see Mascola right in front. Mascola picks it up, jumps and puts it over the goalkeeper. And Mike Shapolsky is seeing white flashes in front of him. He has to be wondering where his defense is. 7-1, and we're still in the first quarter. Ball on the ground. Once again, Scott Stolzenberg is a big body. He's 6'1" and very well built, and he can just muscle his way in there against those smaller midfielders. And there we have a flag here. There we will have a penalty on East Brunswick for a hold. That check, you could see that. You can even hear the crowd react to it. 30-second penalty for a hold. So we'll have a man-up situation for the Hawks of J.P. Stevens. East Brunswick now with only 5 defenders back as the penalty will be served. That penalty on that penalty, looks like Tarnowski, 19, was the guilty person sitting in the penalty box area. East Brunswick's defense looks like 5 on a dice cube. That shot wickedly wild. J.P. Stevens player closest to it, so they'll retain possession. Play whistled in. On a 30-second penalty like this, you get maybe one good offensive set. And the penalty is over. Team's at full strength. J.P. Stevens, that's Fleischer, the goal scorer from the first goal. Ooh, and right in the middle, and again, we apologize, we do not have a number for number 8 there, but he caught it and shot it and got hit and bumped and it got through Lanzi. 7-2 our score. Tarnowski at midfield will take the draw. Ball on the ground. Stolzenberg picked it up. Bounces it. That pass goes through everyone. Picked up by the defense, and the defense will rush it up. Fleischer, that pass was good intention. Scott Silverman saw Andrew Fleischer downfield, and just getting a stick on it was the East Brunswick defense, knocking it out of bounds. J.P. Stevens with possession, working it from behind. Mike Chi, number 1, being guarded by Randall Nixon there. Nixon knocks the ball down, battling for it on the far sideline. We got a push, a loose ball push on Nixon. Possession will stay with the Hawks. James Lee, the ball's now inside. There's a battle for it. Coming out with it for East Brunswick. Good play there by Ryan Dalton to pass it back to the goalkeeper and bring it back up. Now the rush, and that was an ill-advised pass. That was trying to thread too fine a needle. Bobby Taco tried to find someone sitting right on the crease and could not get it through. But Bears pick it up. Taco, bounce shot, and scores. Bobby Taco has at least 2 tonight. We don't know about one of those goals. But 8-2 our score. Again, we get the draw at midfield in the cloud of dirt there. Hard to get traction, to get position, but in this case, J.P. Stevens does come away with it. Taco pursues on the outside. Pete McNamara behind the cage to Chi. Chi tries to crash in. Crease violation. And possession will be awarded to the Bears. Triggering the clear, Stoltzberg. To Wiedenfeld, downfield, last seconds here. And launching it with about 2 seconds left to go. Once again, Mr. Taco, 21. And that was, then you could hear the time count going. And so there's only about 2 seconds left, and that ball stayed low. And those, again, are the hardest shots for the goalkeeper to handle because this is not a true bounce here. You see how the field is worn right around the goal crease area, and that's just not worn because of the boys playing here, but then the girls also play, and they play a little bit wider, but it's still a worn area, and that ball can take all kinds of funny hops. And our score after the end of the first quarter is East Brunswick 9, J.P. Stevens 2. A real good quarter for the Bears. Their attack line really on top of it. You got an excellent interaction with the midfielders. A lot of the scoring coming from Taco. Mascola had a couple of goals. And again, good interaction, good passing, movement around the entire perimeter, finding those holes and just launching laser beams. So the coach, Matt Severino, has to be happy with his performance here to end the first quarter. Only the one early defensive lapse that allowed Fleischer to walk in unimpeded. And a shot that kind of knuckled on Ray Lanzi and scored midway through the period. So 9-2 our score. Again, we're here in May. Both teams, or both the boys and girls teams, concerned about their record. They need to have a record of 500 or better. It's by a certain cutoff date to make the state playoffs. Certainly the Bears have an opportunity at that if they can put together a little bit of a winning streak. But, you know, take care of first things first here, and that is to play hard against J.P. Stevens. At midfield, you might see the referees, they're checking the length and they're checking the sticks. They'll check one from each side as a representative, you know, just an example of a stick. Tarnowski looks like he will once again return to take the draws. Stolzenberg goes to the far side, and then the near side, Spiota. Now, until possession is gained, the only people who are allowed to pursue the ball in that center area would be the three from each side. A little bit of a loose ball push, so possession awarded to the J.P. Stevens team. J.P. Stevens going right to left on your television screen in their away green with yellow numerals. East Brunswick in the home whites. And Stevens seems to want to trigger. The team wants to trigger from the top. Ball's going to go out of bounds. You have a horn blowing on the out of bounds and wholesale substitutions here. New midfield line in for the Bears. Nixon has trouble playing the ball on the far sideline, tries to keep it inbounds. Does. Randall Nixon, who is also the star quarterback of the East Brunswick football team. Pass inside. Oh, behind the back. And I was wondering where Nick Fusco was going to go with that one. Tried to come out and then tucked it in around, wrap around his neck and put it in. You got to rewind the video on that one and take a look at that one again, because that was just, you know, a wonderful fake out, and to be able to control enough to turn around and put that over the shoulder on net. Nick Fusco again scores for the Bears, and that's the 10th Bears goal. Tarnowski. Ooh, wicked shot there by Jason Gonzalez, goes through. Bears will retain possession. Fusco behind the net. Muscola. Back to Fusco. Again, the Bears operating from behind the net, working the sides rather than coming out on top. Fusco will hold it out. Bears looking to find a good shot here, not in any rush, up 8 goals. Ball passing through, but it will be corralled by Mariani. Or, I'm sorry, that's number 4 for the Bears. That's Josh Didio. Fusco. Muscola. Back out to Didio. Just dancing around inside the box. That pass is a little bit low, intended for Peter Sorrento, 25. Battle in the back there. Procedural call there. Possession will be awarded to J.P. Stevens. And they will trigger the clear from the back. Scott Silverman, number 11, will trigger. His pass is high, goes through. Picked up on the fly. Looking around, dropped. Ball's on the ground, waiting. Now, again, you look at Fusco there. He can't cross the line. He could use his stick to try to pick it up, but the Bears do pick up possession here. Ryan Jurgensen, 20. To Fusco. #24, Mariani. Andrew Mariani, this junior. Fusco. Nick, left hand, comes in. Rifle shot, sidearms. 11-2 our score. Sapolsky just has to be wondering where his defense is to allow people to get that much of a clear lane to shoot. Fusco with at least 4 tonight. And we're only moments into the second quarter. Tarnowski used only on faceoffs so far. Stolzenberg trying to chase it down that far sideline. A little bit of a crown in the field right at the end particularly, and that's kind of hard to pick the ball up when you're running a little bit downhill. Trying to bust his way in. Jason Gonzalez loses possession, but Fusco picks it up and will bring it out. Setting it up, gets inside the box. Referee then jumps outside, so Fusco ready to just take his time, patience. Taco. Mariani. Mariani trying to crash the net. And this time, Sapolsky has nobody to blame but himself. He was right there in front, but somehow that ball got through. And our score, 12-2. Substitutions here for J.P. Stevens. The draw. Sticks back to back. Squirts out. The attackman cannot cross the line there, but the ball, once it comes through, they can pick it up. And Gonzalez does pick it up. We'll take it back behind the cage. Fusco guarding. Loses possession. Ball on the ground. And almost jumping in the middle, Gonzalez almost reclaimed it for the Bears, battling for it. Ball pops on top of somebody's head, bounces around. Hot potato here. Who wants it? Picked up. Timeout. This time, the J.P. Stevens coach sensing a little bit of confusion, given an opportunity to maintain possession, calls the timeout. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank our technical crew here at EBTV. This is not just a one-man operation. There are many, many good people who are helping to put this together. Get Rob and Paul up on the cameras, and Dave and Pete in the broadcast truck engineering this game. It does take a lot to put on a contest here, one of these broadcasts of East Brunswick High School athletics. And we thank the good people of EBTV and the public library for all their good work over the years. We have a chance, they do run an archive show where they bring out an old game from the past and they broadcast it on. Some of these very famous classic EB matches, football, basketball, wrestling. You know, I've got a wall, and hopefully soon we'll be talking about a classic lacrosse matchup on EBTV. So J.P. Stevens will take possession. Mike Garrigan, number 12. It looks like that's the number there. These numbers are very hard to read in this light here. Those yellow numbers. That's Matt Shea. Around the horn it goes. Pete McNamara has it now. Drops it back behind the net to Mike Chi, number 1. Chi, mismatch there. Stolzenberg muscling Chi out of the way. But Chi uses his speed, gets inside, finds a matchup, but Lanzi knocks the ball down and controls. Good work there by Ray Lanzi to intercept the pass and prevent a play from happening. Nixon now defending, bringing it across. Nixon passes. Tic-tac-toe from Nixon to Fusco, from Fusco to Gonzalez, and Gonzalez gets rope, nails it. Looked like there would have been a penalty called there, but since East Brunswick held possession, they were able to execute that wonderful passing sequence and post their 13th goal. Gonzalez with 2 on the night. Tarnowski gains possession, looking for help, brings it across. Spiota, a long stick defender, but he's out there and he'll peel off and be replaced along with Tarnowski, who's used mainly just on faceoffs. Timmy Clark comes on along with Mariani as the Bears complete their substitutions. Taco breaks in. That pass to Gonzalez. Gonzalez had to reach back for it. Couldn't right himself, couldn't get himself situated, so that shot attempt goes high and wide. Bears will retain possession. Mariani trying to work inside, and Andrew Mariani scores. The 14th East Brunswick goal. And in that case, you look at Shapolsky, the goalkeeper, came out away from that post, and there was a good foot and a half in between for Mariani to score, put it past him for the 14th East Brunswick goal, still in the second quarter of play. Randall Nixon picks it up, will bring it across. Nixon pass in front to, once again, Kamascola missed it, and then Fusco tried to pick it up and once again put it behind his head and score, but he fell down. And now the breakout for the J.P. Stevens team. Now crunch, a couple of big hits being thrown. Possession retained by Stevens. Long pass is wide and high. It's going to die in that back grass out there. Lanzi. Finds Wiedenfeld, 14. Wiedenfeld brings it across. Again, he'll look to dish or maybe go right. He's going to go right on in. He puts a bounce shot, save. Shapolsky saved it. And you can just imagine that Wiedenfeld's going to get some razzing, perhaps. It's rare when a long stick defender comes all the way up and scores, and when you have the opportunity, you want to cash it in. Substitutions here, wholesale substitutions almost for the Bears. Peter Sorrento, 25 out there. Inside pass attempted to find Gonzalez, no good. Picked up by the Bears. Ryan Starkman, as Coach Severino is now running several midfield lines out there. A good catch and shot and score. Jason Gonzalez. The pass coming from behind by Mascola. Little difficult, looks like he had a little difficulty catching it, but righted himself nicely and put it past for the 15th East Brunswick goal. A little bit of confusion here as, again, coach making some substitutions and trying to rotate players in and, you know, get the varsity, get the first line people out of there and give some others a chance. And Scott Stolzenberg had to get out of the playing field quickly. Randall Nixon. Nixon fires it and scores. Very, very good move to get through traffic and maneuver, and Randall Nixon, the defender, comes up and fires a high to the far side. And so now Nixon will probably come over and give a little razzing to Alex Wiedenfeld for that. Okay, Nixon's going to come off now. Yeah, Nixon getting some congratulations there for that. What would even be rare if Lanzi tried to come up and score. That would be unusual. Stolzenberg now picks it up. Well, it seems like everybody wants to get in the act here, but Stolzenberg has it knocked away from him. As they figure if Nixon can score, every defender can score. Long downfield pass gets through everybody. Picked up by Tommy Spiota. Spiota gets it out. Knocked down. Good poke check there. Little stick-to-stick collision there. You can hear that. Kyle Rapport trying to get through. Cannot. Pass goes wide. Lanzi now looking for outlet help. He's being pursued by two people. Does manage to outlet to Scott Kamenskevich. If I'm saying that right. I'm not. I apologize. First time we called his name Kamenskevich. Pressure. And once again, timeout called by Edison. Again, the coach wanting to preserve the possession here and trying to stop this and derail this East Brunswick offense that has posted 16 goals in the first half. 16-2 our score. You hear them yelling, let's go, we don't stop now. Well, again, you're up by 14 goals here. You see coach substituting liberally, getting in players who might not often get this much playing time in a tight game. Certainly helps out in the future if you're running into injuries or games back to back to back where people might be a little more tired, to get these younger, less experienced players some quality time. JP Stevens will start with possession. Wesley Way has it to Rapport. Rapport being harassed. Way. Sloppy pass there intended for Pete McNamara. East Brunswick will trigger. Tommy Spiota will put the ball in play. Lanzi comes out but loses possession, picks it up. Lanzi will run it up the sideline. Clear space here. He's looking for an outlet. Will bounce it down to Fusco, but Rapport picks it back up again and tries to fire it all the way down toward the open net. Not even close, as Ryan Jurgensen was back. Jurgensen now running with it, looking for an outlet. Jurgensen. Double teamed. Rapport, who's been probably the only stellar player on the defensive line for JP Stevens. Balls goes out there. Lanzi will trigger. And that pass goes through Spiota and goes out. Whistle for substitutions. Scott Stolzenberg checks back in along with Ryan Starkman. new attack line, or one person new on the attack. We get to the offensive side of the ball for East Brunswick. Spiota, good defense there to knock the ball on the ground. Loose ball hold, though. And East Brunswick will surrender possession. One minute left in this first half. Ball knocked around, will go out of bounds. Substitutions again on both sides here as teams will change midfield lines. On the far sideline, Bobby Taco will take the ball. We get down to the offensive side, you're going to see number 17, Martin Kite there. He is 6'8", and that's not, do not adjust your set. If they go inside, you'll see he's a presence there. Less than a minute to go here. Kite setting up right on the crease. Martin Kite, they're calling, come on, Marty, come on, Marty. Working around the outside, East Brunswick looking for the last shot. Bounce shot there by Timmy Clark. Clark posts the 17th East Brunswick goal. Well, the girls' team won earlier today by a lopsided score, and it looks like the boys are well on their way to doing the same thing. Tarnowski. I guess an illegal screen there. And JP Stevens with possession here as we conclude. And the shot goes wide. And our score at halftime, incredibly, East Brunswick 17, JP Stevens 2. We'll be back with second half action in just a moment. Our score as we start the second half of play here at J. Doyle Field is East Brunswick 17, JP Stevens 2. Incredible offensive output, the tack line, and you know they're the main focal points here. They've done a great job getting themselves in position to score and taking advantage of it. Now we have the lots of substitutions here. Martin Kite, again, in the middle. Number 17, 6'8". They're putting him right in the low post. You want to call it like a basketball player. Right in the low post. Again, East Brunswick working it around here. Peter Sorrento, 25, 13. Ryan Dalton. Martin Kite there. Kite with a bad angle, try to wrap it around, get some English on the ball, and put it in that far side post. Shot goes wide. Marty Kite, 6'8", 280. And you're not going to move him. Passed him by in the hall this morning, and I just look up, I went, oh. When somebody is 6'8" walking the hall, you'll know it. Marty Kite has the ball there. And the goalkeeper in this case, Shapolsky, for sheer fear of his life, comes out and knocks it down. Defense picks it up. Rapport here. Kyle Rapport. And if we're going to identify a bright spot here on the J.P. Stevens side of the ball, it's the ground ball pickups and defensive presence of Rapport. Ball knocked around out here. Picked up by Sorrento, 25. Down to Martin. Martin has a hard time picking up the ball. You can just hear the bench wants him to score. Again, it's senior night, and Martin is a senior. J.P. Stevens will retain possession. The ball goes over top of the East Brunswick bench. 17-2 our score. Multiple goal scorers: Fusco, Taco, Mariani. Gonzalez. J.P. Stevens did lead in this game, 1-0. And after that, East Brunswick went on a nice 7-0 run and haven't looked back since. Currently on a 10-goal run. Ball knocked out. Marty Kite. Now here's Marty. Marty is big, but he's got to go down and get that ground ball. Cannot do so. Ball's battled around on the ground. Finally picked up by Dalton, 13. Wraparound check misses by Matt Shea. Fusco looking for a high pick from Kite. Sorrento to Dalton. If this looks like four corners, it may be just that. I mean, the kind of unwritten rules here, or professional etiquette, as it were, is to not to run up a score, but 15 goals in the first half lead. Sometimes it might be difficult for the student athletes out there to understand that there is a sportsmanship point to be made here. Wind has picked up a little bit too. Clouds are coming in, so could be that we are going to get some rain eventually. Again, this is not the first midfield line for the Bears. This is definitely coach going to his bench. Fusco, Sorrento, shot hits the post, backs up against Shapolsky's foot. Long outlet pass thrown downfield. Lanzi will take it. Gets knocked over, but he was outside the crease, so all fair there. Fortunately, the ball did not go into the net. Battling around for it, James Lee. Ball out the back end. We put in play by Mike Chi. Chi trying to work around through the defense. One of the things that could be said about this game is that it did not provide a lot of opportunities for the East Brunswick defense to work and get some exercise here. Coming across midfield now is Dalton. Dalton's going to get it inside the box. Stops. Patiently sets it up. Fires it. Wild pass intended for Gonzalez. Substitutions here. New midfield line here, a little more defensive oriented. Josh Didio is in along with Josh Meyer. Number 1, first time we've called his name tonight. And Ryan Starkman, 18. Intercepted by Fusco, and Nick Fusco knows right now they're just being patient with it. He doesn't need to score. East Brunswick patient, working it around the box. Pass intended for Marty Kite. Again, they're trying to work him into the offense here. Give him maybe his one goal they would allow, but a multiple car pileup there with 5 East Brunswick defenders around the ball and a loose ball push called on the Bears. Bovik Gupta, ball popped up in the air. Who's going to control it? Looks like it's going to be Gonzalez. Gonzalez comes around, picks it up, and scores. Loose ball pickup there by Gonzalez. 18th goal. (18-2) our score. We're in the third quarter of play here at J. Doyle Field on senior night. Bears over JP Stevens. I'm Ken Saroka along with the EBTV broadcasting crew here, bringing you all the action. Earlier this evening, the girls won their game as well. Number 2, Kevin Block there defending. Runs up against Dalton. Or excuse me, Dalton now takes over, marking the JP offensive player. Around the outside we go. Wesley Way to McNamara. McNamara to Chi. To Way. Way with a long, wild shot, several feet off the mark. JP Stevens will put the ball in play. Fleischer, who had the first goal. Ball in front. Lansey corrals it. Outlets. Stolzenberg. Try to dip around the defender, or get it across midfield, but lost possession of it. A loose ball push on JP Stevens. Sorrento will check in for Stolzenberg. From what we heard on the bench, the JVs are even going to get into this, and we apologize, but I don't have their roster here. But apparently Coach Severino is going to give them some playing time in the fourth quarter after going through one more substitution round. And that's again, number 1 there is one of the JV players, not Josh Meyer. One minute left in the third quarter. And you got to feel for the JP Stevens team is that East Brunswick knows they're ahead. They're playing 4 corners. They're not trying to run the score up, but they're just trying to execute some smart passing, play tough on defense. Sorrento comes up with it. A score there. And again, that's number one from the JV roster, and unfortunately I don't have that, but certainly the parents will be proud if they get the game tape or tape the game. They can celebrate that one. That will go in the book. And that is the end of the quarter with our score, East Brunswick 19, JP Stevens 2, as they did run a kind of running clock situation at the end there. And now you're going to see a lot more of the JV squad get in. Only 2 goals scored in that quarter, but again, 17-2 at halftime. The East Brunswick Bears are on a 12-0 run and just trying to be as sportsmanlike as possible here. And it is a skill to work around the ball and not lose possession of the ball and try to, keep around and act active and pursue, but to do so with a taste. And you got to give credit to the coaching staff here at East Brunswick. Always very positive messages being sent by their play. Very positive messages coming out in the way that they conduct themselves. Teams will switch sides. We've got the backup goalkeeper for the Bears. Mike Ryan will now come in. He'll get a quarter of action here, number 3. Okay, they're going to get the benches cleared here, get them back away from the sideline, and begin with play here. Green ball, too quick of a release there. That's Chi, number 1, to Matt Shea. Ball goes through Johnson Zhang, and that might have been the number 8 we had earlier. Those numbers are very hard to read. A green ball and a white loose ball push. Bears push. Josh Didio checks in, Scott Stolzenberg out. Situational substitutions here as needed. Chi behind the net, pursued by the Bears defender Scott Komankevich. Johnson Zhang around the outside to McNamara. Clock running. Again, 19-2 our score. Ball on the ground. Be corralled there by Shea. Chi to McNamara. That pass is intercepted by Spiota, and Spiota will bring it out. He'll try to run it down the sidelines. Ball's knocked out of his stick, but he'll push it across midfield, pick it back up again. Good stick work there. Again, the smaller numerals, white jersey, green trunks, the JV squad playing here, given some time to play. Martin Kite there behind the net. Bounce shot goes wide. Substitutions. James Lee checks in for JP Stevens. Again, we're in the 4th quarter. 19-2 the score here. Oh, point blank shot. Martin Kuyten, again, fearful of his life maybe. Shapolsky comes out and stones him that close. Ball knocked down. What do we have? Free hand. Okay, playing with the free hand there, or pushing off with the free hand. Josh Meyer, big number 1 in the white trunks. Around the outside, Shea trying to get inside to Fleischer. Fleischer turns around. Again, he has been quiet. He's only had 3 shots. 2 of them came in the first few minutes of the game. 1 of them scored. McNamara to Chi. Chi loses possession, goes out. And the defense for East Brunswick will clear. Tominkevich is here and he runs right into Chi. Ball's knocked out of his stick, but he picks it back up again. And he'll work it down the sideline, looking for a clear. Lane passes it up, gets it to Ryan Starkman. Starkman tripped up, no call, but picks it back up again. Solid defense there by 34, Mark Ruggiero. And a penalty call behind the play, and a little bit of extracurricular activity there by the part of Pete McNamara. He gets a 1-minute unnecessary roughness call, and East Brunswick will have the man advantage. Very clean game so far. East Brunswick only guilty of 1 30-second penalty, and this is the first penalty on J.P. Stevens. Give East Brunswick the man-up advantage, 6-on-5. And that pass goes wide, but again, East Brunswick with the man advantage, man up here. The J.P. Stevens defense collapsing in like a 5 on a dice. Running, trying to work her way through, bouncing around, looking for an opening. Again, East Brunswick doesn't need to score here, but number 1 there gets crunched. He has a goal earlier in this game, but he got crunched as he tried to come inside. And bringing it out nicely and smartly. J.P. Stevens, defender, comes across, but again, clock stoppage for a quick substitution here as a complete JV midfield line comes in for the Bears. Again, we apologize. We do not have their numbers or roster up here. Spiota gets it across. Goalkeeper bringing it out, looking for a clear, dumps it downfield. Spiota picks it up. Score there as Tommy Spiota walks all the way through the defender, and he posts the 20th goal. Again, they're trying to just, run the clock out here a little bit, but again, that was a wide open opportunity to go right down the middle. And for a defender, that's an inviting opportunity, but you must again remember that East Brunswick has only scored 3 goals after scoring 17 in the first half. Though they've been patient and they've been trying their best to, again, play the game as it's out there, but not just simply lay down and get. And it's good for the JVs and the 3rd and 4th lines here to get some playing time here. Pass intended for Kite in front, goes through. In that case, that's Josh Meyer in midfield who scores. And East Brunswick again has scored the last 14 goals. Getting everybody set here at midfield, drawing the Peter Sorrento for the Bears. Picked up by Jorgensen. And again, the bench you hear yelling for Martin, trying to. And again, number 1 here on the JV squad scores. Again, that's his second goal. And timeout called by the JP Stevens coach. 22-2 our score. Winds picked up nicely here. It's a little bit of a cooler breeze. We had a beautiful shot of a full moon that we were going to use as we came back from the break at halftime, and suddenly the clouds came in and took away our wonderful shot of a very full moon here. And I don't know if that was the foretelling sign of good fortune for the Bears lacrosse program tonight, but certainly both with the boys and the girls teams winning, and winning convincingly, it's been a very good night here at J. Doyle Field. Again, the first half dominated Nick Fusco, Jason Gonzalez, Andrew Mariani, Bobby Taco scoring multiple goals, giving the Bears a wonderful cushion. And now in the second half, giving some of the younger, inexperienced players, even some of the JVs, a chance to play here under the lights at J. Doyle Field. Bounce shot there. Saved by Shapolsky. Shapolsky dumps it downfield. Bounce shot goes wide, or picked off what looked like it was going wide, but Mike Ryan came out and pursued it anyway. Stevens looking to get feisty here, trying to score something in this last few moments of the game. Bounce shot. Ryan picks it up high. Again, those bounce shots are very treacherous because the ground is so uneven there. Now Ryan's out of position and scoring for Stevens. Bovik Gupta, as Ryan was way out of position. Nobody came back on defense. Ball coughed up, and Gupta scores and makes it a 22-3 game. Breaking a streak of 15 goals for the Bears. Ball on the ground, picked up. Oh, not quite yet. Who's got it? Bears battling for possession here. Gupta on the far side, the goal scorer, battling it as well. And the Bears do come out with it. And Bears setting up in a formation here. And Martin Kite once again denied in close. Got to be frustrating when everyone else is scoring goals. He has had great opportunities, but Shapolsky's come out and stoned him point blank. And that line there, again, they can't cross that line. the attackman cannot come across. 30 seconds left. Once again, they're working it inside, looking for Marty. And finally, after 5 tries, Martin Kite does score, and the 6'8" senior puts the capper on the game. Our final score, East Brunswick 23, Stevens 3. And again, just a matter of opportunities. The Bears took advantage of every opportunity that they had. They made Stevens pay for the defensive gaps, and also took advantage of picking up the center draws and every loose ball. Again, maybe a little, a little much, but again, 23-3 our score. And I'd like to thank everybody who is involved in the technical end of this broadcast, making it possible for all these good people at EBTV. I'm Ken Saroka saying good night from J. Doyle Field.